Hello friends, welcome to TechnoGeek SFDC. So in today's OmniStudio tutorial video, we are going to talk about DataRaptor data extract. So in our previous video, we have discussed about the turbo extract. The link will be showing somewhere on the top. So if you want, you can go and check it out. So turbo extract and the normal extract, these two are having different functionalities, or based on how much data you are trying to extract from how many object you are trying to extract, there is a difference between turbo extract and the normal extract. So if we see on a difference level, turbo extract only supports one object at a time, and you can only extract from one object where you will be selecting the fields, and then the output will show you like whatever the fields you have selected and from which object you have selected. Okay, so turbo extract was a very simple, straightforward data extractor where if you want a very if you want data from a single object in a very simplified way, you can use the turbo extract. Performance wise, it was obviously it was faster because you are doing a query on a single object. But then let's say if we have a turbo extract, then what is the need of the normal extract or the data raptors? Okay, data raptors extract. So the data raptors extract is basically used where you need the data from more than one object. Okay, so let's take an example that let's say if you want to extract the data from account as well as you need the data from contact or you need the data from cases, and you want all the three together, all the three in a single data raptor, then in that case we will be using the normal extract. So normal extract supports more than one object when we are doing the query or when we are extracting the data. Okay, and not only supporting the multiple objects, it is having more features as well, like you can create the formulas or you can basically do the tweaks around the data which you are extracting from the extractor. Okay, so we have an option of using formula. You can even use the apex to write some functions which you can which you can utilize to process the data which has been extracted, as well as the configuration wise, it is little bit complex than the turbo extract, but from the functionality standpoint, it is being used where you need the data from multiple objects in a single transaction. So that's an overall difference between your turbo extract and the normal extract in OmniStudio. So let's see what all features we have, and let's see how the extract functionality works in OmniStudio. So this is my org, and I have come to OmniStudio Data Raptors, and I can click on new. So again, the starting point will be same like what we have on the turbo extract. Okay, so I'll just give a demo extract one. Interface type, if you remember earlier we selected turbo extract, but here I'm going to use extract. Okay, so I'll just select extract. Input type, again it supports all the three input types, that is a JSON, XML, as well as the custom. Custom means you can use Apex class as well for the input type. So we will keep JSON itself. Output type, again it can support both, it can support all the three, that is your JSON, XML, and custom. So usually if you see in your real-time projects, most of the times your input type and output types are JSON. You can say 70 to 80% times it is JSON to JSON. Somewhere you will be facing XML or custom, but most of the time it is JSON. Okay, and then we have an optional value, that is required permission, that is which profile or which permission set should have the permission to run this data raptor. That also you can define. It is optional. If you are not giving it, then this data raptor will be available for all the profiles and all the permission sets, so anyone can run it in the background. But yes, if you are specifying some profiles, then only those profiles will be able to run it. Okay, so we have given the basic informations, and we can click on save. Now, first thing you might be noticing here is that in the turbo extract we had very few options, that is extract options and preview. But here you can see we are having two more tabs, that is formula and output. Okay, so the first step is extract. Extract means here we need to first define that from what object I need to extract the data. So let's say in our case I will keep it as account. Okay, Extract output path. So extract output path means whatever the records has been extracted, that will be stored in which path, or basically under which variable name that information will be stored. Okay, so let's say in our case I will give it as accounts. Okay, next we have a filter criteria. Again, similar to like turbo extract, here also we can define the filters, like name equals something or rating equals something, and then so let's say I'll give it as name. I'll give it as name equals. Now again, here we have two options. Similar to turbo extract, if I'll give it in the quotes, okay, if I'll give it in the quotes, it will become a static value. Okay, but let's say if I want to make it dynamic, then instead of giving quotes, I will just give it a normal variable name, that is, let's say ACC name. So this variable will be available to pass the data or pass the value from outside. So normally when we will do a preview or when we will be using this extract, that time I will be able to pass any value in this ACC name. It is a kind of dynamic binding, you can say. Okay, so we are basically binding the value with ACC name variable. Okay, next again we have other options as well, similar, like we can add multiple filters, you can keep limit, you have an option to put the offset, order by. So all these options we have already discussed in the turbo extract video. Uh, you can have a look there. It is similar to like our normal SQL queries, where if you want you can put the limit, like limit I can put it as 50, so only 50 records I will get. Similarly, I have an option to or offset or order by, so all these things I can put it. Okay, so I will remove the order by. Okay, so here I am extracting the data from account. Okay, next you can notice that my add extract step button is still enabled. Okay, so similarly if I want, I can get the information from other object as well. So let's say I'll put it here as contact. Okay, again contact, I will put the path as contacts. Okay, and filter, let's say I'll give it as first name equals con first name. Okay, so now you can see that I here in this example I am extracting data from two different objects. Okay, I am extracting data from account, where I can pass the account name and I can get the information. Similarly, I am extracting the information from contact as well, passing the contact first name. Okay, so you can see we have basically configured more than ob- we have configured more than two objects here. Okay, so till now we have configured the objects. Okay, but but the next step is we need to define the fields as well, which we want to give it as an output. Okay, because in an object we can have multiple fields, we can have lots of 100 200 fields, right? But we don't need all the fields. So what all fields we need, next we need to define that. Until unless we are not defining it, you will not receive the data in the output. Okay, so for defining the fields which we want as an output, I will go to output. Okay, and then I can click on plus extract JSON path. So here I can see I have accounts related information. So I can select account. Let me just see what I can take. Account. Let's say I'll just take it as account ID. Okay, and what my output JSON path will be, account ID. Any variable name I can give. Okay, I can give account ID variable name. Okay, or I can give accounts colon account ID. Okay, so if I give account ID, it will just be a single variable in the JSON structure. But if I want in a proper structured way, that is, I'll be having accounts first node, and then under that I'll be having account ID and all. So in that case, you can give accounts colon ID. Okay, so giving accounts colon account ID, this is the way we can structure our JSON output. Okay, next is what type of data it will be. So in our case, it will be a string. I can just keep it as string. Okay, any default value if you need, you can give the default value as well. Okay, so this is one field I have added. Similarly, let me just add one more field here. Okay, so I'll just give it as, let's say, I'll give account name. Okay, account name, I'll give it as accounts colon ACC name. So you can see I am getting ACC name under this. Okay, and then text type I will keep again as string. Similarly, we have some default values. If you want to populate a default value, you can give it. If you don't get any data, then the default value will be populated. Similarly, we have is disabled. So is disabled is basically used. Let's say if you want this field just for the configuration, like similar to it is in the development phase, right? Then you can make it as is disabled so that uh, this particular variable ACC name will not be coming in your JSON output. Okay, so if you are doing is disabled, uh, it will be basically not coming in your JSON output. Okay, so we'll keep it as enabled. So this is one. Next, I will get the contact. Okay, so you can see contacts. Contacts colon ID. So I'll get the ID. So you remember we were getting the information from account as well as contacts, right? So we are getting the contact information as well. So now we are defining what contact variables we need. Okay. So what contact variables we are going to get. Okay. So I'll put it as contact ID and then I'll put it as contacts colon ID. So you can see I got one more node here with contacts. Under this, I'm getting ID. By default, it is taking as text. Okay, if you want, you can just change the type as well to something else. I'll keep it as text. I'll add one more field here. So let me see contacts. So I'll take contacts first name and then I'll add it into the first name. Okay, so it got added in the first name. Similarly, I'll just take the last name as well. Okay. So now in the contacts, I'm getting first name, last name, and ID. So these three fields I have configured. Okay. Now these three fields under contacts and two fields under accounts I have configured. Now again we have an option. So these options are similar to like what we had in our turbo extract, where you can put the check for field level security. If the field level security is not there for a field, let's say I'm using first name and the running profile is not having access to first name, then that information will not come in the JSON. Okay, so for that you can just select for the check field level security. Similarly, you have an option to override target for all null inputs. Okay, similarly you can use the caching, how much time to live in minute. Okay, so these are some of the options which we have. Now let's next come to preview. Okay, so in the preview, what I will do, I'll take ACC name. So in preview, I have the key value pair. So key, I will give it as ACC name. And then let's say I'll just take an any value. Okay, and then I'll try to execute. Let's see what output we are going to get. Okay, so if you can see account related details I got here. Okay, now similarly, I'll add one more key value pair here to check for the contact. So let me just take any contact. I'll take, let's say, Andy. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll come here. I'll take the variable name as con first name. In the key value pair, I'll put this and I'll keep Andy. Okay. And let's try to execute. So you can see that I got the information related to contacts as well as accounts. So this is what I was telling, that in the extract, you can get information from multiple objects in a single transaction. Okay. in a JSON form. So as you can see, this is in the JSON format. Again, you can parse it and you can use it, utilize it wherever you need it. Okay. So till now we have seen how you can get the information from multiple objects here. Okay. But there is another interesting feature that if you want to see the related information means, let's say I want to get the information of contacts related to an account. Okay, that also we can configure. Okay, so how we can configure that? So we will again come to our extract, and where we have given con first name. Okay, instead of this I need to first select what will be my connecting field. So in case of contact is associated with account via how, with the account ID field. Okay, so that connecting field I will select in the filter. Okay, the filter should have at least one connecting field. And next what I want to do, I will be taking accounts colon ID. Okay, so what I am doing here by using accounts colon ID, I am basically tagging my contact extract with the account, telling that okay, whatever the IDs are there in this path, that is accounts path, I need to get contacts whose account ID equals this particular account colon ID. Or basically what I'm telling is whatever I have extracted in my first step, I need to get contact related to that. So this is the difference. If you want to associate, then you need to give the extract output followed by colon and then ID. Okay. So this is how you can link one object with another. Okay. Now, next is we will change the output. Okay. So we will basically make it more structured. Okay. So to make it more structured, what I will do, accounts colon contact. Okay. And accounts colon contact. I'll just remove this and then accounts colon contact dot last name. So now if you see, my structure has been changed. That is, I'm having first node as account. Under this, I'm having contacts as an another inner child or inner node in this. Okay. So what it will store? It will store all the contact informations. Okay. Then I have ACC name and account ID. Okay. So this is the only difference. Earlier, we were getting the data which were not related to each other, but now we are trying to extract the data which is related to each other. That is contacts related to the account I'm trying to extract via mapping through accounts colon ID, and I'm putting the filter on the linking field. Linking field means which field on contact is linking me to account. And then on the output, I have basically structured my JSON output. Okay. Now let's try to preview it and we'll see how it's going to execute. Okay, so you can see I'm getting Andy Young here, and if I go on account, I have one. Similarly, let me just see if I have any uh, account which is having multiple contacts, or let me just go to contact. Okay, I'll come to contacts. I'll see. Okay, so I will take this demo, this particular, and we'll see how it's going to behave. Okay, we'll execute it. So now you can see what I'm getting here. I'm getting account information and whatever the associated child I'm having. If I'm having two child, it is giving me two child information. If I'm having one child, it is giving me one child information. Okay. And if you want, you can verify the query in debug log as well in the side. So you can see my first query is giving me the data from account, and then next what it is doing, it is automatically picking up the ID which I have extracted in the step one, and then it is fetching on the contact. So this is how we have done the linking to get the related information. Similarly, you can get the related opportunities, related cases, or whatever related information you want, you can get it from here. Okay. So this is what the major difference what we have as part of turbo extract and the normal extract in the OmniStudio, where turbo extract was a straight simple single object. Turbo extract setting up configuring is little bit tricky than the turbo extract, but yes, you can get the information from multiple objects, related information, unrelated information, both you can get from here. Okay, so we have seen the overview of what turbo extract is. In our next video, we will go through what formulas are and how we can use the apex functions into these formulas. Okay, so how we can basically make it an advanced formula and how we can work on that in the DataRaptor extract. So till then, we will wrap up today's video. I hope you got the idea about what the extract is and how we can utilize it. If you have any query, you can definitely ping me, and we will try to basically solve your queries on that. So till then, we will wrap up today's video. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.